It's the only way, Chavra. Chavra, 5 years until Shabbos, 10 until Purim. Kalali's playing the violin. Mandy's joking around. I mean, Nitai's on the bus. This is unbelievable. This is unbelievable. Samson's cooking broccoli. Machine cooking straw. Kira is working out. Physical teshuva. It's Gewaldic, only you, only you. Cheve, the covered Shabbos Kodesh. We're longing for Purim, longing for Shabbos, longing for just togetherness, unity, achdus. We're yearning for health. We're yearning for simcha. We're yearning for the third Beit HaMikdash. We're yearning for Mashiach. We're yearning for everything.
The one.
Kabra, Tefillah B'Shem Kol Yisrael. For Pesach Reuven Ben Yosef Asara. Bracha Bas Yehudis. Miriam Dodi Bas Chani Ochaved. Yonah Bas Basia. Shir Bas Basia. Sinai Reuven Ben Mani. And Asher Miso Ben Chana. May everyone have a refuah. Also, everyone in Ukraine, the whole world, anyone who's struggling. B'ezrat Hashem. Chaver, this is the deepest prayer in all of Shas. In all of Shas. I don't know if it's found in Shas, but it's found in Shas. Open up the Esther, Breslov Institute, and Mamish, the forward. It's the deepest tefillah by the author. So it says in Rabbi Nachman's stories, there is an instrument, and when this instrument is placed on any animal or bird, the creature immediately begins to sing this wonderful and beautiful song. Now, it seems like Avi Kirkowski knows what Rabbi Nachman's stories are all about. But that's the beginning of the tefillah. And we'll see what that means. In Breslov tradition, and this is a cry out from all of us, from all of Am Yisrael. In Breslov tradition, this instrument is the power of the tzaddik, his teachings, his inspiration, his advice. When the instrument is placed on a Jewish soul, even the most lowly soul, chas v'shalom, an animal, it begins to sing a most beautiful song. Yet the song of the animal differs from that of a bird. Each one produces a melody which is unique as his soul. Because the instrument, the tzaddik, which is a tzaddik, is the musician who elicits from each different musical instrument a unique song. We, our souls, are but the cello, the harp, or the flute, the cello, the harp, or the flute, upon which the musician, the tzaddik, plays his notes. Chevra. May it be your will, Punish Olam, Master of the world, that the music that tzaddik, Rabbi Nachman, plays in our soul, all tzaddikim, resulting in this commentary on Esther. Now he's talking about the book, be heard by many people. May they be inspired as if I was being instrumental. And may no one be jarred by any wrong notes resulting from any shortcomings. B'ezrat Hashem Chavra. And we all feel this way. Whichever teachings we're learning, may the tzaddik, mamish, just make the most beautiful notes, while us being the harp. I like the harp. I'm the harp. I shot the harp. What are you guys?
I got banjo.
Violin.
Hurari.
The oud.
I'm just a triangle.
You're just a triangle.
There's no just a triangle. You are the triangle.
Chaver, we're mamash a kli, and and we will talk about it right now or in a couple moments. But first, we have to talk about the halachos for the Megillah. There's a mitzvah to read the Megillah twice on Purim, at night and during the day. At night, the Megillah is read after Ma'ariv Shmona Esrei, and in the morning it is read after putting away the Torah before Ashrei. If you do not hear the Megillah at those times, you still must read it later that night or day. You need to read every word of the Megillah. By listening to every word from the Baal Koreh, you fulfill your obligation. Therefore, you must finish Shmona Esrei before the reading of the Megillah. If you miss a few words during Megillah reading, you should read them quickly from the Chumash and catch up to the Baal Koreh. Guys, halacha l'maisa, halacha l'maisa. That means the Baal Koreh needs to be clear. Mamash needs to be clear. So we'll continue with the halachos. Bezrat Hashem tomorrow, the Megillah Esther, the Megillah reading. But I just want to bring a maisa to open up what we're going to be talking about today, bittul. And a Yid once went to the Rebbe of Kutsk, and the Rebbe of Kutsk is like, Yidala, holy Yidala, what are you doing here? And the young man asked him, I came to find God. Where do I find him? And the Rebbe of Kutsk answered this Yid, then you made a long trip for nothing, because Hashem is everywhere, and you can find him back home. Then what are we supposed to come here for? To find yourself, young man, to find yourself. That's what the Rebbe of Kutsk said. However, we could find it anywhere. I think there was a Maisa, Kira, I think, told it to me, where or Moshe, where the guy had a treasure in his oven, right? And he traveled city after city after city, thinking that, you know, he was finding this treasure, but really one of the guards at the bridge told him that it was in his oven or in his house. It's a joke. And then he went back and it was right there. Yeah?
It's Ami's cousin, Ami Shields, his uncle, his grandfather.
Amish's uncle.
Grandfather.
That's
but
the
it's-
story?
Yeah, remember that's the Isaac Shul. They got the money from that for it to be built. Isaac Shul in Krakow.
No, that was the story?
Yeah. No, but the story is a bit different. It's like this Rebbe that lived in Krakow had a dream that there's a treasure under a bridge, like far away, and like I don't know, or something.
Right.
Imagine.
That was it.
And then he went there to the bridge, but then the soldier also had a dream that there was a treasure under, someone's oven in Krakow. This guy's oven.
Oh
And he-
my gosh.
Yeah, it's real though. It's
Oh.
Ami's grandfather. Then they built the Isaac Shul. His name was Isaac.
Wow. That is incredible. I remember going there. Wow. Samson's fired up making the broccoli. Wow, there we go. That story is something. All right, so Chaver, we have to understand and recognize what bittul really means. Rav Itchemeyer opens up by saying, "V'kishi amik be'emes hazu." We have to deepen this point of what it means to be bittul. Yiragish b'behiros ich be'etzem hakol chai rak me'oro yisparach Hashem yisparach az be'etzem ein kan ela es Hashem be'yichush ich hakol zerak or Hashem. So we have to understand and to know that Hashem fills all worlds. And when we're listening to the Rav David song before, where can I find you? Only you. Everything's Hashem. The world is filled with Hashem's light. Mamash. There's nothing else but Hashem. Ein o mevada. Al yidei ze yochal yikanes lebittul. And through this understanding and recognition, we could then enter what it means, the sugya of bittul. Now, I don't really know what bittul means, right? You could read. I read in this Farm Kadoshim, but really to be bittul, that's a very, very high madriga, right? And we all know we could start right now to try to be bittul as bittul as we can, right? We always have right now. No, but like, does it mean Rav Zusha referring to himself in third person and never saying I? Right? Does it mean that? I don't know. I'm asking the Chaver here. I just popped up in my head, Rav Zusha. But let's continue. Dahainu. Sheyirgish beharegasha bebehira. Shehu Eino Mesios La'atzmo, Elahu Namas Mitvatel Betoch Or Hashem Yisbarach. This reminds me of the teaching of Rabbi Nachman, surrendering ourselves to the Ribono Shel Olam. When we wake up in the morning, we throw ourselves to Hashem, saying that anything that happens today, I'm just going to throw every single movement. I'm going to throw every single asset I have. I'm even going to throw my family. I'm going to throw everything onto you. And no matter what happens, I'm accepting it with besimcha. Meaning it's Hashem's world. He fills all world, and we all know Hashem is kol tov, is all good. And this is the clarity we could get by understanding this. Hamakif et hakol v'margish shekol metzioto hi rak kli lo'oro Hashem yisbarach. And to really understand this reality, right? Like, meaning it could be like an outside thing, it could be a chisoni thing, but to really understand it and to allow it to enter into the kishkas, and for it to be very deep down into our hearts, we have to be kli in order to receive the light. We have to be kli. I think that's what Rav Itchmeyer is hinting to here. Am I good so far? I have no clue what's going on. No clue what the tzaddik is saying. Kacha. Should we go weiter? Weiter. V'lehargish et habitol hazeh afilu me'at. Zeu ta'anug atzum she'ein milim lib'oro. Right? And to feel this bittul, right? It's a huge pleasure to be bittul. It's not something that you're lacking in, and that it's not a great feeling. It's amazing to feel mevatel to something, to Hashem. Right? But even if we do it a little, that's also good. Trying to mevatel yourself right now is also good. And you'll have that feeling. And you'll be able to allow the light to penetrate. Because we're a kli. V'imo adam nimsa benuchat nefesh muchlatas. And through this, we could merit and we could achieve absolute menuchas hanefesh. Absolute by being bittul. The chayev meusharim beruchnius v'gashmius, and we'll be successful. We'll be rich in the ruchni and gashmius world. Now, I probably missed 4 or 5 points that went on here, but it's a really big Indian. It's a really big Indian. If you guys have any ideas on how to mevatel ourselves, feel free. But I can tell you one thing. When I was at the minyan with Samson Schiff, right, on Thursday morning, Rosh Chodesh, it's just Am Yisrael. When we understand that we are a part and not the whole, that's really the mevatel. That's really the bittul. So hopefully on Purim, and we understand that everything's from Hashem. Right? Everything is from the Ribono Shel Olam. Everything is the Ribono Shel Olam. Right? And we're just messengers, we're klis, and we're just receiving his shefa every single second of the day. And may our eyes be open. Bezrat Hashem, questions, comments, please feel free. Part, not whole.
One of my rebbeim, Rabbi David Aaron, he says, whenever you're full, you know that there's something wrong. All the words full, it's always something wrong. All full. Full is like, it's something in the future. It's not a good thing. It could potentially not be a good thing. And we're not all full, we're all some. We're all a little bit. We're all some of it. So this union of bittul is connected to this idea of being able to be just a little bit of a part. Just saying, I know I'm not whole, but I'm just a part of it. And I don't know why I brought this up, but I wanted to say previously Just follow me in a different direction, would you? Kacha. Bittul doesn't have to be such a Gewalt, I'm nothing, I'm efes, I'm terrible. That's not bittul. Bittul is not saying I am efes. I'm nothing, I'm garbage. That's not bittul. Because that's comparing you to something else. Bittul is saying I'm just a kli, as we said before. And it doesn't have to be such a great thing. I go into my daily thing, I go to work, I go to school, and I'm just a kli. And I'm involved in myself. I say, okay, I know I have to study. I know I have to do this class and write this paper. I know I have to get this done in work and that done in work. I know I have to pick the kids up from school and drop them off later at soccer practice. But that's being a kli. The whole union of bittul is not to make it so mesubach out in space. The tzaddikim, where they're holding, it's also simple for them. But for us, looking at the tzaddikim, it's like they're when you mentioned Rav Zusha, Zusha's bittul was like he couldn't. It was so obvious to him that he couldn't refer to himself in the first person. It was like barur. He's like, I'm referring myself to I. No, I'm Zusha. Zusha is. I'm just Zusha. For him, it was like so simple. For us, like we can't even imagine. We're like so far away. So we have to take the little points, they're little crumbs, the pirurim. Rav Emma Cohen, the Shishiva of Otniel, would always say, like, whenever he would write something down, he'd say it's pirurim. They're little crumbs of my thoughts. And he did this, and what I understood from him is he would do this because they're the expressions that we give on a daily basis and in our appreciation for Hashem in our daily lives needs to be just that the little things that we can get, the little things we can say, okay, this idea, this food that I'm going to eat now, this job that I'm going to do, this homework that I'm going to do, is just to make a greater kli and a stronger kli for Hashem's light to shine in this world. That, to me, this is bittul, but everyone has their own definition, I think.
I mean, we saw in last in last week's parsha. I heard it was 18 times, right? Where Hashem, where it says at the end of a pasuk, Hashem commanded Moshe. It says 18 times. I don't know the deeper meaning of the 18, but we know, I think according to Rashi, that Bnei Israel did everything that they were commanded perfectly, right? They got everything done. They made the Mishkan, and when it came time for Am Yisrael to erect the Mishkan, from my understanding, maybe I'm wrong because it's just my memory and I don't have a good memory, that Bnei Israel, they weren't able to do it, right? It was too physically demanding. They weren't able to do it, but Moshe was able to do it. Moshe was able to erect the Mishkan. But I also think this is connected to what Moshe was saying. Moshe on. This is unbelievable. Building bridges, right? Moshe Rabbeinu was the biggest kli of all, right? Because he went out, did it, and Hashem then gave him, right, the strength to be able to lift up those beams that you can't even imagine how heavy they were, right? Like, no, it wasn't humanly possible. But by being a kli, in Moshe ad Moshe lo kam ke Moshe. For Moshe until Moshe, there is no Ravin and understand. Maybe we need an English translation. From Moshe until Moshe, there is no one that stood like Moshe.
Yeah, exactly.
From Moshe to Moshe.
I mean, we're all Moshe.
That's deep. That's deep.
But once again, it's not deep at all. It's very simple. I'm not a deep guy. I'm very, very straight. Moshe ad Moshe, lo kam ke Moshe. What's not to understand? Between Moshe and Moshe, there was no one like Moshe. So the Gemara says that, I believe. The Gemara says this line. But we know, and now it's already getting on Purim, because now we're talking about Purim, because it's already, this is the Inyan. That Mordechai was the Moshe of the generation. That every generation has a Moshe. And Yoter Mizeh, we know that as it says in there's a section in Zohar called Raya Mehemna, the faithful shepherd. And this is said to be written by Moshe Rabbeinu, this section of Zohar. But the sixth Lubavitch Rebbe explains that the term Raya Mehemna has had twofold meaning. One meaning the faithful shepherd, and one meaning the shepherder of faith. Raya Mehemna. Mehemna means faith. Raya is the shepherd. So he's the shepherder of faith. He shepherds faith of the Jewish people. And the sixth Lubavitch Rebbe says that it is upon each and every Yid to be a Raya Mehemna. It's upon each and every Jew to be a shepherder of faith. To see his friends and his family and say, okay, we need to machnis po, ksat Moshe, ksat Raya Mehemna, ksat faith. And that's what a shepherd does. It gives it lets the sheep and cattle roam as they will, but directs them in a non-forceful but understanding way. This is the additive of Mimoshe ad Moshe, lo kam kemoshe. That each and every one of us has this emotion inside of us, and we have the ability to unlock such powers of Raya Mehemna, of being a faithful shepherd. Agav, if you don't believe that you and I have powers of Moshe inside of us, the Gemara states further, whenever one of the Rebbes in the Gemara says a good chap in the Gemara, it says Moshe Shapir Kamart. You say Ravina said this and this and this, and someone will respond Moshe Shapir Kamart, but Ravina said it, not Moshe. The point is that that aspect, that particle of Moshe inside of him, was talking at that very moment.
It's unbelievable.
That's all I have to say.
If
you want to understand. So Mimoshe ad Moshe lo kam kemoshe.
Clever. We all have the strength to lift up the beams, right? But we're always going to need an extra push, right? That chap in the Gemara, they're always going to need that wisdom, that seichel, and that extra, sharpen of the mind, that extra idea, to connect it all. That's really Ribbon Shalom. Right. The opposite would be I lifted up the beams that were just, 1,000,000 tons all by myself. But where are we getting the strength from? I don't know. Just listen to Moshe. Clever, Bezrat Hashem. Anyone else? Questions, comments? And Moshe could be all of us. Right,
we're listening. We're listening.
Oh, Moshe. Kislasi, Kira, Nitai. Anything to respond, anything to say, any smiles? Smiles are more important than words. Mamash. I think it was in the Hayom Yom. I was going to share the Hayom Yom, but it would have been like way too long. It's all about how the intellectuals need to learn from the simpletons. You guys should check it out. But Bezrat Hashem, we should be healthy, happy, and successful. It's a hard piece today. Baruch Hashem, Bechinas Moshe. We shall be healthy, happy, and successful. Lift up the highest beams, but also understand that when we're lifting up the highest beams, that we'd always, always, always need Hashem in the picture. Hashem is the picture, right? And we're just going to be mevatel. We're going to be kli, and we're just going to throw ourselves into the fire. Bezrat Hashem. Continuing tomorrow, Bezrat Hashem. I'm saying Bezrat Hashem 1,000,000 times because we need Hashem's help. So it's so important. Chavra Biwa.